The winner of the 2005 National Debate Tournament on a 3-2 decision.
Those words are the most highly anticipated of the year for thousands of the brightest and most highly competitive college students in America. But this is not a tournament consisting of polite discourse. This is an amalgam of high-speed chess, high-stakes poker, and high-noon showdowns. This is the National Collegiate Debate Championship. Armed with thousands of pages of research stuffed in 70-pound tubs, debate teams from all over the country have converged on Spokane, Washington, in their quest for debate supremacy. The preparation for this tournament has reached obsessive levels for most of the debaters. But once the competition gets underway, teams will rely on their guile as much as their intellect and determination.
Thousands and thousands of kids strive for this, and only one team will go away, the winner.
It's the most intense 4 days you'll ever spend.
You don't want to think about it, your stomach tightens up, you start feeling your heart pound, it gets a little harder to breathe, you do everything you can to relax.
I've heard a lot of people over the years, myself included, describe it as an addiction.
You just generally have this heightened intensity that you don't see as much during the rest of the year.
It's the same way I think that most people feel about March Madness and basketball.
The big difference between us and March Madness is we do it in 4 days.
It's the pinnacle of all your accomplishments in this activity.
It would mean everything to be able to win the NDT. It would just be an affirmation of all the work and effort you put into it, and you'd leave on a great note.
There's so much on the line when your moment comes, and nobody else understands it.
I try not to describe the pressure of the NDT. I try not to think about it, because if you think about it, it'll drive you crazy.
The National Debate Tournament is the best debate tournament in the world, and it has a magic to it that is not like other debate tournaments.
There is a special magic to the NDT, but if familiarity breeds contempt, these students may just detest the topic they have been studying and researching and debating since the academic year began almost a year ago. Should the United States government enact laws to limit the use of coal, oil, and natural gas in this country? They have unearthed nearly every piece of relevant evidence the world over. Each student, and in some cases an army of researchers, will spend almost every waking minute away from the debates searching for one last quote, fact, or piece of legislation to support their side of the argument.
I really don't think anything can put as much pressure on you as debate does. It's literally a boundless, endless research project.
Like that changed me because I could give it up.
At no point do you plateau of the amount of work that you have to do.
You're always constantly researching new ways to package your arguments, new ways to apply them to various affirmatives.
See what the recent searches were, so they found the recent searches.
They've been working in the office a lot of 18-hour days. They're there till 5 in the morning, and they come back at noon and have lunch and start over again.
I always tell my students, there are 3 parts of your life. There's debate, there's school, and there's social life. If you want to be a good debater and a good student, your social life has to suffer.
So our argument is that we should not necessarily try to prescribe solutions.
Think about it this way. You go to a public speaking class, over the course of a semester, you'll give 5 to 6 speeches. Tomorrow, each one of our students will give 12.
We have to do things that are completely radical and things that are completely... I think it's almost more overwhelming than finals. I just took midterms and they were a lot easier than this.
My schedule revolves around debate tournaments. Every time I say, oh, I want to go visit my family or I want to talk with a friend, it's after this tournament.
Our whole point is that you can't predict when the capital stock of the entire industry is going to retire, and that when it's 2 in the morning and you would rather be doing a million things, you know, go out with your friends, watch TV, whatever, to say no, you know, I got to stare at a computer screen for another 3 more hours and think about, you know, exogenous versus endogenous technological change. It's like, if you don't want it really bad, you're not going to do that.
why Geico.com is so simple? Or is it because you can chat with an associate if you need help and get a free rate quote in minutes? 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Simple as that.
America's greatest strengths are the generosity and the compassion of the people.
Because of Hurricane Katrina, we come to you not as presidents, but as private citizens.
You know, right now, in the recovery, it's important for those who want to help to make cash donations.
And everyone can help, and every dollar will impact someone's life. So please visit usafreedomcorps.gov for more information.
The people along the Gulf Coast region will need the help of this country for a long time.
The students are minutes away from the start of the NDT. 78 teams have been working years to reach this moment, and now they'll all begin their quest for the national championship. Like a sprinter waiting for the gun, the debaters anxiously anticipate the beginning of this demanding intellectual race to the title.
And that is one of the economy. Lord, is the only thing that can economy argument. This doesn't cutting it. That's 40. Reduce your default. Junior evidence of readings there are to the economy. They say they outweigh so much deficit.
Day one of the National Collegiate Debate Championship is underway, and now the teams are trying to navigate their way through the sometimes treacherous preliminary rounds of the NDT.
Our evidence indicates we hit the peak in 1973.
This stage will consist of 8 debates over the next 3 days. In order to move on to the elimination round, where the surviving schools compete in a single elimination tournament, a team needs to win 5 of those debates. For the top teams in the country, the first day is a chance to get out to a fast start. Northwestern cruises through its first debate against Boston College.
That makes it so
All
it's not a
Boston, but that's
requirement.
just your opinion. This, we can cite this as Boston College 2K5.
What?
We had that in the
No, I mean United.
In the second round, they go up against a Pittsburgh team intent on enjoying the NDT.
Northwestern's kind of a team where fun goes to die, but we're looking to make sure that this round has some fun in it, actually. We're not going to let them kill our fun or our NDT experience or our whole experience as seniors and debaters.
Context would provide the study of rulemaking process agency to make it critical to understanding environmental policy to pay people to say a hard time.
The big 3 in Detroit and say, are you meeting these efficiency standards? Than it is to place a cap that applies to every person that's a citizen.
The contest appears to be a mismatch, but looking for any opportunity to gain an advantage, Pitt jumps all over Josh Branson's choice of words.
Come before abuse. By forcing them to stop using dominating language terms, you can actually change how debate operates and the use of language that occurs within the debate round.
Yeah, I said a word, used profanity. They said that that was gendered violence.
We went for an argument that their use of the F word is problematic because it's something that it's a term that men use to dominate women.
Racist or sexist that you have a specific link to that the other...
I don't really believe that, but it's a way to win a debate round. That's kind of what it's all about.
The strategy forces the judges to deliberate longer than expected, but after nearly 30 minutes, Northwestern is awarded the win on a 3-0 decision.
The fact that we got the judges to sit there and think about the decision against Northwestern BM for 25 minutes is kind of a victory in and of itself.
The rest of the day goes well for Northwestern, with one minor hiccup in the third round.
Day one is a pretty good start. We lost a ballot, but we still managed to win the debate, which is the important part.
While winning the debate is the main objective, receiving as many votes as possible from the judges is crucial. Those votes are later used for ranking the teams in the elimination rounds. Harvard's top team keeps pace with Northwestern, winning all of its matches. But the last debate on this day against Dartmouth's pair of Maggie Berthume and Jeremy Martin illustrates that as teams go deeper into this championship tournament, the competition only intensifies.
Well, the day went pretty well. We won all 3 of our debates. This last one was against a very successful and very talented team, and it was really close. We won a 2-1 decision. But at the end of the day, we're still 3-up.
Along with Harvard and Northwestern, West Georgia, Michigan State, and teams from the University of Texas and Cal Berkeley make it through the first day unscathed. After 3 debates over the last 12 hours, the day ends well into the night. Each debate is draining. And these competitors know it's only going to get more taxing, as they'll have to endure 3 more days at this frenetic pace in order to be named champions.
Hope. It's more powerful than a hurricane. Help victims of Hurricane Katrina and thousands of other disasters across the country each year. Call or visit redcross.org today.
This is their world, with 31 points of view you've never heard, past 31 borders you've never crossed, and 31 histories you need to know. That's 31 ways to see it through their eyes. Experience the world beyond our borders. 31 shows, 31 nights. Now is the time to globalize yourself. Beginning October 1st, only on History International. Call your cable or satellite provider.
What are you setting your sights on? And when you see it, will you be ready? Just pick up the phone, dial 1-800-645-ARMY, and you'll get this free DVD. You'll learn about the hundreds of opportunities the Army can offer you. Skills, education, healthcare. Call 1-800-645-ARMY, and you'll also get this free boonie hat. Whatever you're looking for, the Army can help you find it.
Their smash-mouth style struck fear into their opponents.
We snack on danger, we dine on death.
You would go to the ring thinking, are these guys going to kill me, or are they just going to have a match with me? Relive the career of the most dangerous team to capture every major tag title. All the highs and lows, from the beginning to the tragic end.
He was a troubled soul.
He just couldn't control his demons. WWE Fanatic Series presents Road Warriors, the life and death of the most dominating tag team in wrestling history. Available this month on DirecTV pay-per-view.
The tournament is underway, and these teams are in the midst of an emotionally grueling 4 days, at a time when most of their fellow students are enjoying the yearly ritual of spring break.
There's nothing else I would rather do. It's my favorite thing in the world.
In fact, there's a vision of having it.
The thing about debate is that it requires such an intense commitment. The high-speed speaking, the massive volumes of work, that no other game is like this.
American youth need intensity. They need something to get more excited about and to be totally invested in.
Restriction that other companies coming aboard have to go back to 1990 levels.
I think all people, if they're honest with you, would say that to be a good debater, you have to be a little insane.
Out of this insanity, 2 teams have emerged as clear-cut favorites, Northwestern and Harvard.
Of the 9 major debate tournaments that have occurred this year to this point, Northwestern and Harvard have won 8 of them. We're a threat to win any debate that we're in.
Harvard has a long history of excellence in debate. This year's team, amazingly good. Definitely one of the top 2 teams in the country.
I think our chances are very good. I'm not going to predict that we'll win the tournament, but we've got a chance to win the tournament, and I think we'll do very well.
Throughout the season, Michael Klinger and Elliot Tarloff have shouldered these expectations with relative ease. It's been their personable nature, despite their singleness of purpose, that has made them one of the most popular teams in the competition.
The pressure is obviously enormous to succeed at this tournament, but at the same time, it's sort of always been the pressure that I've enjoyed. And so I think that this will be the most fun I've ever had at an NDT, just because the higher expectations, I think, cause both me and my partner to perform better.
Our evidence says that efficiency makes mass productions quicker.
A lot of people would say that he's the Flash and I'm the substance. I mean, I, make all the arguments and do the important debate decisions, and he's just here to make me look a little better.
And he's not wrong.
Northwestern's team of Tristan Morales and Josh Branson, on the other hand, bring an aggressive nature into their debates. Their combativeness hasn't always endeared them to their opponents.
You and I both know the counterpoint doesn't say the delegation should be that, it says that the action should be that, so...
The action that is taken is done in the United States, yes, that would be what
the delegation, you'll agree that that's not in your text. They were like, oh, energy policy solves all your analogies. I was like, energy policy? A, they didn't define that. B, you have an energy policy. Their energy policy was just like generic as shit.
Yeah, guess what else is an energy policy? Increasing consumption, which is what you do.
It's not talking about your plan, it's talking about...
If you do well and the work that you've done turns into something great that you enjoy and were working for the whole time, then all of that sacrifice seems like it was totally and absolutely worth it.
A win at this year's NDT would make Morales only the 9th debater ever to win the tournament twice in its 58 years of existence, and the first to do it with different partners. It would be a great individual accomplishment and another achievement for an extraordinary Northwestern debate program.
My goals are obviously to win the tournament. Bottom line, that's pretty much it.
Northwestern's the best debate program in the country. I believe in the last 10 years, 6 national championships. I mean, that's Wooden-esque.
Just like John Wooden's championship teams at UCLA, Northwestern's dominance has been a product of the system orchestrated by their coach, Scott Dethridge. Nicknamed the Duck, Dethridge's program utilizes a battalion of researchers, coaches, and debaters who have all accepted their roles in achieving the singular purpose of winning the national championship.
You are a part of a rich history and tradition. The 4 pillars: character, commitment, teamwork, and hard work. Character, commitment, teamwork, and hard work. In that sense, remember this: when one of us wins, we all win. When one of us loses, we all lose.
Before the NDT began, there was one more competition to be decided between Harvard and Northwestern. The winner of the Copeland Award, given to the top debate duo for their performance during the regular season, was up for grabs.
And in first place...
Regular season was up for grabs.
And in first place, from Northwestern University, Josh Branson and Kristen Wise.
Though not the ultimate goal of the weekend, it's yet another piece of evidence that will allow one team to argue definitively that they are the undisputed debate champions.
Congratulations to all of you, and to Josh and Tristan in particular, on the Copeland Award. We didn't come here to win the Copeland Award. We came here to win the NDT. So that congratulations is fair and due, and we'll celebrate in April and May. But for now, put that picture out of your mind. Your opponents will perform better than they ever have performed before, because they would like nothing better to knock off the #1 team in the country. There's no doubt about it.
With the target firmly placed on the backs of Branson and Morales as the top team, Harvard can take comfort in the fact that only twice in the last 10 years has the Copeland Award winner gone on to win the national championship.
If I was a betting man, I'd definitely put my money on one of those 2 teams to win.
I think that Northwestern and Harvard sort of are clear favorites at this tournament, one of the 2 of them to win this, but this never ends up that way.
NCAA volleyball is back on CSTV. Non-stop, heart-pounding action from the best volleyballers around the country. CSTV takes you courtside for every dig and kill. From the first serve to the final spike, NCAA volleyball on CSTV. Sunday beginning at 4. It's an ABCA Match of the Week doubleheader. Baylor takes on Nebraska, then Santa Clara takes on Pepperdine.
CSTV, #1 in college sports, brings you action from your favorite Conference USA team. If it's played on a field, the diamond, or the court, it's on CSTV. With coverage of hundreds of Conference USA games, CSTV is the home of Conference USA. Call your local cable or satellite provider or log on to CSTV.com to find out how to get Conference USA on CSTV today. Every Tuesday through Friday, it's Coast to Coach, where CSTV brings you closer to the game than anyone else.
To win on the road against a team like this means how good you are.
With the biggest stories from the best coaches.
What really matters is winning the Big 12 championship.
To tell you what went right.
He just stepped up in every facet of his game.
What went wrong?
You are what your record is. you got to play better.
And what to expect next. Coast to Coach on CSTV every Tuesday through Friday. Log on to CSTV.com for a complete schedule.
The Center for starting us bomb argument, our argument is that, however, little do they know that they actually reified the very things they were actually trying to be the most important reason of the debate where you that whole ideology is not destructive and cross-play.
Students learn to speak very, very rapidly because they have a finite amount of time to deliver their arguments. It really becomes part of the madness that is this activity.
They can reverse the depoliticize the unethical mode of decision-making that dominates current energy policy nation.
You know, if you've caught 20 articles on one issue, you know, why would you go slow and just read one of them if you could go faster and maybe read 10 or 12 of them?
Debaters are given 9 minutes to deliver their opening arguments, followed by a period of cross-examination.
No, you're misunderstanding.
Okay, no, sorry.
Each debater is then given an additional 6 minutes of rebuttal, giving these competitors 15 minutes to present their evidence at breakneck speed.
There's a certain feeling you get when you're speaking that's not like any other feeling. It's weird because it's just 15 minutes, but it seems like a lifetime. It's really what's impossible to describe, and that's what's so beautiful about it.
All the Union 7s were read by pieces argument plus you.
If you and I have an argument, and I can make twice as many points as you can, it's likely that no matter how good your points are, I will have the advantage.
Sort of like chess, or high-speed chess, if you will. I mean, you might play chess with some buddies or something like that, and it's kind of slow and could take hours. But if you watch the masters play chess, it's very fast.
People who watch debates and say, I can't understand that, I don't know what's going on. Right, that debate's not being held for them. It's being held for the people with the ballots. They are fantastically skilled at understanding the incomprehensible.
Along with comprehending the barrage of words delivered in fast talk, the judges are also evaluating the quality and immediacy of the evidence, the ability of the debaters to connect their evidence, the organization and flow of the evidence, and a team's ability to refute or respond to the other team's arguments. Equally as important is the ability to deliver the speech in the most compelling and convincing fashion.
Cards thrown in this debate, which means that they have to provide a speech.
First thing, the personal is political. To identify where you're coming.
While most of the teams rely on the strategy of getting their opponent to answer as many arguments as possible, there are teams that have decided to use passion instead of pacing.
My English and Spanish tongues are both foreign and affixed to me, false, native, afflicted to me, made part of me, soldered to my bones and embedded, melted, coated steel to the lining of my brain.
When we decided that putting our experience was important, we decided to speak slower, because speaking fast makes it seem like our experience is not that important. An experience needs to be valued.
I live criticizing and seeing the horrendous atrocities this culture has created, and it angers me that I can't stand in front of an army tank in order to stop the destruction that it creates out there, that it creates in my country.
You need to hear the cries, you need to hear the anger in the words, and that's something that you can't experience when you're speaking fast.
Cal State Fullerton is located, you know, in the heart of Orange County. We're right near Santa Ana, which has, you know, the highest Latino population in the country. We're debating things like energy policy, and a ton of the oil in the United States comes from Mexico, and the Chiapas region is being destroyed to do it. Those are important issues.
We have to force individuals to talk about their personal politics, to talk about their experience, because this is a necessity before interacting in the everyday forms of politics.
Should the judge vote for you because you talk about being Mexican, you have an Espanol heritage, or should they vote for me because I'm Cuban and my mother fled? All these intersectionalities, if we don't have those discussions in this debate forum, then we will never be able to become better activists, because we will.
Teams like Cal State Fullerton are a tribute to a movement started by Louisville's coach Ed Warner. After years of frustration over a lack of diversity in the debate community, Warner decided it was time to change some of the accepted norms of debate.
This community is yet to make people feel comfortable, and until it does, this community will not change, it will not become more diverse. So go in there and relax. Breathe, shake, stretch, let it out. Do what you got to do, because you know these arguments, and you're okay. And we made some adjustments to the strategy that's going to be on point. But the most important thing is to not lose the confidence that Jennifer and Ebony have had, especially at See the Nationals. Keep that same vibe going, stay focused, and do your thing. Tria, you want to add anything? Daryl?
Straight.
All right, you know what we do on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Debate what? Now, I, as a black woman, I've always been raised to be strong and assertive and always wanted to stand up for myself when people offend me.
The strategy used by Louisville's team of Jennifer Harris and Ebony Floyd attempts to force their opponents to address and accept their biases.
Color, different races and ethnicities, class.
It's like too many times in this community we want to run away from having dialogues about stuff that offends people because we're like, oh, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
The strategy that we came up with, once we learn the execution, is unbeatable. Because it's truth, it's real.
We've got something that they can't answer, that we functionally have a true argument, and if our students execute, I think we win. It's hard to say where we'll end up, but, you know, we'll make people think. That's our goal.
Louisville's influence is apparent in this year's Long Beach team. Like Fullerton and Louisville, their goal is to address racial and ethnic oppression. The style used to drive the argument home? Hip-hop.
The lives and professions of those that enjoyed the luxuries and wealth that they get from the theft and the pain they inflict to obtain all that's left. These arrangements are...
We've learned a lot of things from Louisville, and they kind of paved the way in a lot of ways for what we're able to do. We have a specific goal and a purpose of community organization for the purpose of becoming, you know, a political force.
And that type of thinking places us at war with
Describe what that metaphysical thinking is.
It's what Waleed was talking about when he says I can look.
Long Beach is usually pretty successful because a lot of people don't really know how to answer their argument or don't just don't really give a lot of thought to what they do, you know.
We kind of remove people from their comfort zone. We're not just reading a stack of pages as fast as we can. You know, we're looking into people's faces. You know, we're being more uplifting and just kind of, you know, going through the motions of the traditional debate.
The criticism that we have of the debate community in many ways is that we produce mad knowledge, we do all this research, but it becomes ultimately self-serving.
These non-traditional teams all have their own unique style, viewpoint, and methods of delivery. But there is a common bond that has formed amongst these competitors.
When we look at each other and we're passing through rooms and we see them, we always wish them good luck because we're all doing the same thing. We're fighting for the same thing.
It is truly a clash of different rhetorical traditions where one side will say what matters is who has the most evidence and you have to answer every argument, and another side will say it's not. It's about how you present your arguments. Can you make them persuasively?
It is a debate, and it's interesting. I think that these non-traditional teams have added an element that it is good because it forces us to question a lot of the assumptions that we make. You know, my conclusions are that, you know, that we have something valuable that we've stumbled across here, and at talking 400 words a minute, and I think it's something that I enjoy doing, and we're going to stick with it.
You have to be ready for critical teams, policy teams, and then performance teams.
See that we don't have an alternative?
It shows that this activity, for all its weird traditions, is really open to new ideas and new procedures.
NCAA volleyball is back on CSTV. Non-stop, heart-pounding action from the best volleyballers around the country. CSTV takes you courtside for every dig and kill. From the first serve to the final spike, NCAA volleyball on CSTV. Sunday beginning at 4. It's an ABCA Match of the Week doubleheader. Baylor takes on Nebraska, then Santa Clara takes on Pepperdine.
When the names shaping college sports speak this candidly,
people watch the Rose Bowl game but never watch any other game.
You've got to be watching one-to-one. CSTV gets up close and personal with the biggest names in college sports. Sunday at 9, renowned sports broadcaster Keith Jackson.
Hi, I'm Roy Williams. You're watching college sports television. Hook 'em.
All right, here she comes. Cut down the angle. Let her make the first move.
Pick her up, pick her up!
Here we go.
College Sports TV, showcasing the nation's top collegiate talent. CSTV Soccer, you'll like the way they kick it. Sunday at 2, Missouri takes on Nebraska on CSTV.
While teams like Louisville, Long Beach, and Fullerton employ a heartfelt, sincere line of attack to address the issues, the same cannot be said of the clowns of collegiate debate, the team from West Georgia.
The West Georgia Liberation Front would like to welcome all of you to the war-torn remains of Spokane.
We're gathered here today to honor the memory of a great man. The loss of one of our fellow debaters is always a tragedy met with deep, heartfelt sorrow.
They joke around a lot, and I mean, before the round, they came up and they were like, oh, row, row, row.
All right. You dorks ready?
Then I was walking past after I was getting a pen, and James trips me.
Like the famed Harlem Globetrotters, West Georgia has taken on the role of spoofing the activity, while at the same time exhibiting a certain mastery over it.
We tend not to take it that seriously, and by that I don't mean that we're not trying to win, because just like everybody here, we would kill to win the NDT, and we're going to do everything we possibly can to win it.
Little A FEMA, little B EPA, little C DARPA, little D DOE, little ECIA, little FFBI, little G AFL-CIO.
We tend to be the class clown of the community, but, you know, hopefully our antics are not mistaken for just purely being idiotic.
Fundamentally different from the forced derivative disclosure of the technological system, and we think that it would be better to transition away from that to this openness.
Who cares?
I care.
Why?
I mean, I don't know. I just think this is interesting, and I think that, you know...
You got no other reason to vote app other than your interesting.
I love West Georgia. If you watch debate, it's when we're talking about the normal policy debates, one side will line up all the good things a plan will do, will save the economy, and that'll save the world, and one team will loan up the bad ones, but you'll cause global warming, that'll kill the world. And there's sort of an obsession we have with talking about the end of the world. And I think what West Georgia wants to do is say, look, we're the comedic corrective to that everything is not gloom and doom, we're not all about to die, and then they do everything they can to make a joke out of what the other team's doing.
You think voting is?
You're CX, you asked the question, don't
What do you think
give an
voting
incomplete
is?
sentence. What do I think voting is? I think it is the act of writing down the words West Georgia wins on the ballot. To be brutally honest, we do what we do because we win ballots. Winning is the primary objective.
While there are teams that get the joke, not everyone finds humor in West Georgia's often derisive vaudeville act.
They think they're the funniest team, but most people would probably say they're the most annoying team.
West Georgia is definitely more irritating than debating most other teams at this tournament because they talk about nonsense.
Teams like Michigan State and Northwestern are kind of those sort of humorless teams. One time, Michigan State accused us of calling them humorless assholes. We didn't even call them that, but they sort of preemptively, you know, defended themselves as not being humorless assholes before we even got the chance to accuse them of it. Didn't even do a good job. Nice, nice. What are those things called?
Ascot.
Ascots? Yeah. Okay. This should work.
The polar opposite of West Georgia is Michigan State's top team of Aaron Hardy and Sean Van Horn.
They would like the debate to be about the substance of research and a little bit less about the delivery and the eloquence. It's not as much their strength.
Along with its no-frills approach, Michigan State also heads into the NDT with the confidence of one of the top teams in the country.
Why does it cause violent international? It says not only with the energy system you build, the rest of the world will be forced.
Top teams in the country.
Why does it cause violent international? It says not only with the energy system you build, the rest of the world will be forced to follow along. Why?
Well, our problem.
There's no doubt that we can beat any team in the country. We've done it before. There's nobody left in debate who is undefeated against us.
You know, the policy making maybe is not as good.
Last year, Van Horn and Hardy made it all the way to the Final Four. But because tournament rules don't allow teams from the same school to compete against one another, they bowed out to let the #1 team from Michigan State move on to the championship. For Aaron Hardy, this was the second time in the NDT that he was forced to give up an opportunity for a national title.
He hasn't lost in the elimination rounds. He's bowed out to one of our own teams. We get that Aaron really sacrificed, you know, to make this happen.
I never really resented that or been angry about that, you know, but this year, you know, maybe it's our turn.
Aaron's selflessness helped Michigan State win it all a year ago, which has only added further pressure to meet expectations this year.
It's really hard to sustain the excitement, the energy, the coach involvement, the research, the intensity over 2 years.
Sean and Aaron are afraid to get eliminated, and it's understandable, but they need to get over it.
Our evidence indicates that in the world in which one entity were to own all of those generations...
What would it mean to win? I mean, the most removed and to himself student that you've ever met, Aaron, would, you know, publicly cry.
Well, it will be the culmination of the last 7 or 8 years of my life. So I think I would be about as happy as I can really conceive of being.
What are you setting your sights on? And when you see it, will you be ready? All you have to do is pick up the phone, call in your coordinates, dial 1-800-645-ARMY, and soon you'll have this free DVD in your hands. You'll learn about the hundreds of opportunities and rewards the Army can offer you. Skills, education, healthcare.
Locking position.
And if you call 1-800-645-ARMY right now, you'll also get this free boonie hat. So don't hesitate, because whatever you're looking for in life, the U.S. Army can help you find it.
Target identified.
CSTV Football Nation. Log on to CSTV.com for a complete schedule.
Day 2 of the championship tournament is when teams with similar records are pitted against one another. While this gives hope of a comeback for squads off to a slow start, it means it only gets more demanding for the top teams in the competition. With Michigan State ranked 4th and Northwestern the top team entering the tournament, this matchup of undefeated teams is the most anticipated and perhaps most competitive of the championship thus far.
When the toughest part of the tournament really starts is right about now. We're right in the middle of the prelims. We're meeting an undefeated team from Michigan State. They're one of the best 5 teams in the country. We've had a bunch of close debates with them. They're real solid, so it should be a lot of fun.
I wouldn't say that it's necessarily fun. It's a fight.
How would you nationalize the burning of fossil fuels and not ever...
You tell me what a company is going to profit from by owning the building but not owning the very profit.
Northwestern, sort of, they really are just there to get the job done.
Motive of the people in Washington, D.C. that are run by those profit-seeking individuals suddenly decide you were grandstanding about analytics for which you have...
Both teams take a no-nonsense approach into this verbal battle. A potential preview of things to come in the all-or-nothing elimination rounds.
The decision is a 3-0 for the negative from Northwestern.
Northwestern maintains its place as the team to beat with a 3-0 decision from the judges. Meanwhile, Harvard finds itself in a battle with Dartmouth's top team, ranked 9th in the tournament.
First argument, we're not conditional, we'll never strike out the complaint text, and argument is specified in agent is resolution.
Additionally, I am making sure that none of our evidence, that our evidence is not specific to outline.
What does your plan do about price volatility?
Well, we do a lot of things about price volatility.
Keeping pace with Northwestern, Klinger and Tarloff are able to win all 3 ballots and remain undefeated.
It's getting to that time in the tournament where you start debating some of the more competitive teams, and so it's important to get some momentum going, to get some ballots under your belt before you have the bigger debates later. And so this is definitely a big win for us, and I feel like it puts us in a good position for the rest of the day.
One has nothing else to recollect in the situation.
West Georgia also wins its first debate of the second day and is looking to add a 5th win, meaning a guaranteed spot in the elimination round against Michigan State's second team. In an attempt to throw off their opponents, West Georgia conducts a mock eulogy, paying tribute to a fellow debater.
In his younger days, when he was 11 years old and just entering the varsity division of local Minnesota tournaments, Scotty P found himself involved in a life of drugs, thuggish street crime, and prostitution. The pleas of his parents telling him to turn his life around could only do so much.
There was a debater named Scott Phillips, or is a debater, he's not dead, who attends Emory University, and you could probably call him the best debater in the country this year. Unfortunately, academic problems forced him to be ineligible, and thus he couldn't come to this tournament.
Well, is there an argument presented in the 1AC that you're critiquing something? Perhaps debate?
We're just trying to give a eulogy for our dear departed friend, and I don't think
We
this is an
almost got
appropriate
very
time to be
much, buddy.
accusing us of anything.
A moment of silence.
You only presented a laughing argument in the 1AC. You have literally no argument as to why you want Scott Phillips to be mourned, and plus he is not f***ing dead, which is an argument that you have literally no response to. This is not a chance for reform. You are only a joke, which is
Dogmatic and stupid. Just to,
Why
I
is
mean,
it dogmatic? We have an argument just like any other.
well, it's an argument that cannot be responded to.
you haven't made an argument yet.
I
So
mean,
when you
really-
do, we'll figure out what it is that you do that impedes switch side debate.
Michigan State is able to adapt to West Georgia's unorthodox argument and wins on a 3-0 decision. It's the first loss for James Thomas and Joe Keeley, but with a 4-1 record, they remain in a good position to move on.
It's a little unexpected. We didn't think we were going to lose. We thought we debated pretty well, and but hey, it had to happen. It has to happen. It's not really that big of a deal. Having 4 wins and 1 loss at this point is still pretty good.
For instant access to all of the latest college football news, scores, highlights, and analysis, bookmark CSTV.com.
And now a man whose life was changed by Dell, Davis.
Our first guest needs little introduction, so ladies and gentlemen, please welcome George Hamilton. How are you, sir? Please have a seat. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. You know, I got to tell you, that TV in the green room is spectacular.
That is no TV, George. That is the award-winning Dell 42-inch HD plasma TV. And we noticed you noticing. Freddie, show the green room cam footage.
The green room cam?
Oh, yeah, we're sneaky devils here.
Look at you. Those features. That true-to-life color. You're stunning.
Yeah, the Dell plasma TV. An amazing picture and an amazing price.
Oh, the TV. That TV's great, too. Spectacular.
Spectacular, dude!
Davis, right now save $500 on a Dell 42-inch HD plasma TV. Plus, get free shipping. Get the most out of your home entertainment with a Dell Media Center PC starting at only $599. It's entertainment made easy with Dell and Microsoft.
The time has come to determine who is Pride Fighting's best lightweight and welterweight fighters. Pride Fighting Championships has assembled 8 of the world's toughest lightweights and 8 of the best welterweight fighters anywhere. These 16 fighters will throw down in the Bushido ring, and when it's all over, 2 champions will emerge. Bushido, the tournament, playing this month on DirecTV pay-per-view.
For the top teams, day 2 of the competition is when their entry into the elimination round is secured. But for teams like Fullerton and Louisville, it's a time of survival. They are both 1 loss away from being knocked out of this tournament and are matched up against each other in what would be their most difficult debate.
Our students are pushing in the same direction, and they face so much resistance from other schools that when we're fighting together, you know, it almost feels like you're fighting the person you should be most aligned with.
That is not escapable. This is
Since they're both speaking so passionately and so much from the heart, it's just an emotional explosion that happens in those debates.
Our backs are against the wall because we need to win the next 4 debates, but, you know, I'm confident.
How many baby mamas will have no drama? Our commander-in-chief will be Barack Obama. My nigga Tanisha will have a GED. It will give her some knowledge so she can finally sleep. Unfortunately, niggas so worried about escaping their environment, they're not worried about the effects that the environment has on them.
Foreigners, Europeans, and their descendants also come and say our land is theirs, that we are aliens on our own land. And we say, yes, this is your land. We
It's a 2-1 decision for Fullerton on the negative.
The bond these two teams have formed makes them equal partners in their fight for change. And so while Fullerton can take satisfaction in the victory, the joy is diminished knowing a strong ally will be heading home.
We create such a powerful movement with them. I mean, we believe that both of us create the same movement, the same change. But one of us had to leave, and it was not our intention to take them away, but maybe to prove that there's something else to their project.
I mean, it's okay because I don't think any of us define what we do solely by wins and losses, and because I know that the value that they've contributed to the program is so much more than that.
If it wasn't for this program, me and Jennifer both wouldn't be here, and it's just like, that was a good debate, but it's a sad thing that those debates don't happen often.
We had to go out, you know what I'm saying? I'm so much love that we went out to them. People who were talking about something and change and reality.
There's only 4 black debaters at this tournament. Hopefully they'll see that they need us here.
Seniors competing in their last debate is now a reality in this tournament. And for everyone teetering on the edge of elimination, the stress of the NDT is almost too much to bear.
I'm feeling mad pressure. You know, me and Todd are like rabid raccoons backed into a corner right now. You know, like if we lose this debate, if we lose the next debate, we can't clear. It's our senior year. We've never cleared at the NDT, so Jesus, it is a lot of pressure. I'm definitely feeling pressure. In fact, I was kind of nauseated this morning when I woke up, dude. So.
How do we change the realities that exist around us according to this criticism, or what would it say would be the way that we would change a lot of the unfavorable aspects of the shit we see every day? People getting sent to prison, homies getting sent off to a war to kill other poor people. How do we stop those things?
Ontological representation. I mean, there have obviously been incremental changes that might have alleviated suffering to a certain extent, but we think that you would probably agree that we are still colonized globally, right?
Right. We're white people in prison. These aren't just any crackers. We're talking about KKK skinheads that George Jackson had the ability to organize, to mobilize, to cause to resist, to join together in a collective strike.
I mean the occasion very pervasive and dreadful witness to the spectacle of a ferocious nationalism, ethnocentrism, and racism that reascribes the principle of identity to justify violent totalitarian suppression and oppression of the ethnic.
In the end, Todd Jordan and Jordan Tinsley of Kansas are not able to clear, losing a 3-0 decision to Long Beach.
Okay, whatever. I'm not going to argue about this.
In an activity that not only requires huge sacrifice, but becomes a lifestyle, the reality of never debating again hits hard.
I love debate. I always have loved debate. I probably always will love debate. It kind of sucks. It's the way it's got to be that we don't get to end our careers the way we wanted to.
Debate has been way more valuable to me than like every class I've taken in college or high school. I mean, I've learned more from this activity and the people from this activity than any other experience of my life.
Come on! This way! Who is that guy? I don't know! Hurry up and leave behind us! I know! Come on, get up!
407 years ago.
Think history is a little scary? Then log on to LOC.gov and see how much fun it can be. The Library of Congress at LOC.gov.
CSTV, #1 in college sports, brings you action from your favorite Conference USA team. If it's played on a field, the diamond, or the court, it's on CSTV. With coverage of hundreds of Conference USA games, CSTV is the home of Conference USA. Call your local cable or satellite provider or log on to CSTV.com to find out how to get Conference USA on CSTV today.
Into the 10, open ahead to the 5. CSTV is the home of Navy football. The excitement, the pageantry, the tradition. Navy midshipmen, America's team, and proud members of CSTV Football Nation. October 8th at 1:30, Air Force takes on Navy.
Everything college sports, CSTV.
The level of competition at the NDT can bring out the best in the debaters. But for younger teams, like Vermont, it can become an overwhelming experience.
They must win this debate if they're going to advance. And I think they can win this debate. And I think we're on the right side, and we have the right judges to win this debate. Now, what we really have to do is win it. It's either this one, or then we'll be debating the rest of the rounds for pride.
Dr. Alfred Snyder, known throughout the debate community as Tuna, is a former debater who finished third at the NDT in '72. Using a grassroots campaign on campus, Tuna recruits students with little or no experience.
He trains a dozen or 2 dozen kids a year to debate from scratch that have not had any high school experience. It's a tough task, and he's very dedicated to it.
It may seem an impossible undertaking to some, but for Tuna, the passion for this activity has never wavered, and his devotion to his students continues to drive him.
What I love about debate is too vast and complex to put into these rough noises we call words.
She is the strongest member of this team, and she's going to try to spread you out. And so what's important is to use the 2NC prep time.
I was supposed to go home and take over my father's business, which was a spice wholesaling business, big markup. And I was, within 3 years I would own the whole company and I'd be set for life. And, I had to explain to him, Dad, I'm going to take a job as a college debate coach for like $8,000. And he was, oh, what's wrong? What's happened? And, he understood later on, and I've been really happy, and that's the most important thing. I mean, I could see myself dying, driving my Porsche at 130 miles an hour down the freeway, going to my box seats at the Laker game, my arm around someone who's interested in me for money as opposed to who I am, trying to do too many exciting substances at once, and getting killed. But now, obviously, completely sober, driving a van load of kids to a debate tournament, I'm safe.
Right now, Tuna's team has its back up against the wall. In a tournament dominated mostly by seniors, his team of sophomores has struggled, falling to a 1-3 record.
How does that jive with your last show 3 evidence that indicates...
Knowing a fourth loss will knock them out of contention, Vermont is desperately looking for a way to get back on track.
Who has faith in you? Not the other coaches in our region, right? They didn't think you'd get here. They didn't think you're right? All you need to do is to believe in yourselves, think you can do it, right? And when you have confidence, you guys do much better. When you let things rattle you, you are better than this team right now. But if you don't execute, it won't happen.
Rather than actually continue it, additionally, they say our evidence is really bad and doesn't case.
We utilize our privilege.
We don't read the vote against us on this one and the pick.
We always vote to avoid indigenous genocide.
It is a 2-1 for the Navy.
Vermont's effort isn't enough, losing in a disappointing 2-1 decision. This team will be back to argue another day, but elimination is still so hard to accept. The field is diminishing, but for the schools still around in this tournament, it only gets tougher. After losing their first debate in round 5, West Georgia loses again in the 6th round, and now has only 2 more debates to clear. Michigan State, on the other hand, is able to bounce back from its loss to Northwestern and win the next 2 debates to finish day 2 at 5-1. The Wildcats of Northwestern continue their dominance over the competition on the 2nd day, winning every ballot in their 3 debates to remain undefeated.
As you know by now, Tristan and Josh, 6-0, 17 ballots, that's -1. That's 6 wins, which is a great performance for the first 2 days. 3 big wins today. There are no awards for first place at the end of day 2. It's all about Monday. They give out the awards for first place on Monday. There are no awards for first place at the end of day 2.
Staying right with Northwestern, Harvard's Klinger and Tarloff. They also stand at 6-0 with 17 ballots at the end of the second day.
Your app is bullshit and it should be excluded because it isn't fair. No, those two things are in no way inconsistent with one another.
So with identical records, it is guaranteed that these two juggernauts will square off in a potential championship preview in the first debate of day 3.
What are you setting your sights on? And when you see it, will you be ready? All you have to do is pick up the phone, call in your coordinates, dial 1-800-645-ARMY, and soon you'll have this free DVD in your hands. You'll learn about the hundreds of opportunities and rewards the Army can offer you. Skills, education, healthcare.
Locking position.
And if you call 1-800-645-ARMY right now, you'll also get this free boonie hat. So don't hesitate, because whatever you're looking for in life, the U.S. Army can help you find it.
Target identified.
All right, here she comes. Cut down the angle. Let her make the first move.
Pick her up! Pick her up!
Here we go.
College Sports TV, showcasing the nation's top collegiate talent. CSTV Soccer, you'll like the way they kick it. Sunday at 2, Missouri takes on Nebraska on CSTV.
For instant access to all of the latest college football news, scores, highlights, and analysis, bookmark CSTV.com.
As day 3 of this grueling tournament begins, the competitors have endured 6 pressure-filled debates and countless hours of research over the first half of the tournament. This exhausting effort has begun to take its toll as the debaters take advantage of any moment to get a minute of sleep. But for the top teams, there is no time to think about rest. With only 2 debates left before the elimination round, each squad will be facing teams with similar records in order to break ties for seeding. The pressure in these debates is enormous because they all know the difference in being a 4th or 5th seed could mean a bye in the elimination round. The looming prize of a bye puts added pressure on the team members from Northwestern and Harvard, who know all too well that they will be facing off this morning. These 2 powerhouses will slug it out in a verbal duel to determine pole position in the National Collegiate Debate Championship.
No holding on to anything at this juncture. What the hell's the point? I mean, winning 3 ballots is more important if you have to break whatever you wrote for even.
It's no surprise that these 2 schools find themselves as the last 2 undefeated teams at the NDT. But it is surprising that Tristan Morales has become such a dominant force in this competition.
A lot of these kids are big-time successes in high school. Tristan, not so much so.
Used by advocates of universal human rights and universal law, quote, sweeps up Native peoples.
When I heard him, I thought, wow, this is superstar talent.
It didn't take long for Dethridge's hunch to prove true. By his sophomore year at Northwestern, Tristan stormed to the forefront of the debate community by winning the National Collegiate Debate Championship. Now a senior, he has lost only 2 debates at the NDT, and he stands out as perhaps the most driven debater in a sea of motivated and perhaps nearly obsessed competitors.
He's real fiery. He's the most competitive person I've ever met. So when he's pumping himself up before the debate, I don't even know if he needs to do that because he's so damn competitive. And he'd probably cut off a limb to win this thing, so.
Ace to point, ecological crisis is a vehicle that makes commonality among inhabitants of the globe. How do we do that in the one? Okay. Your printer evidence and your Chris Steph, of course, opportunity one time really keep the pen force live with dimensions of the tropic force management ratio of big answer to leading to football on scientific representation.
You see, you're doing the thing you always do where you skip around between sentences.
I'm reading your highlighted, which just skips around. So you'll just say whatever the K is.
Well,
that's what the direction of your
that evidence will be pretty good about it because you're freaking out big time.
We invest in ourselves, we can be using that we're super rate of anything practicing like
Our evidence, which explains the lifeboat ethic, makes a claim about how apocalyptic Malthusianism with regards to the environment creates a situation in which it's the poor, the disempowered, and the people that do not have the resources to make the imminent response to the environment.
Okay, so our plan was over the genocide of poor people. That's your intent. Okay, cool.
All right. The decision is a 3-0 for the negative from Northwestern.
It's not the first time we've lost a preliminary round. It's not the first time we've lost an affirmative round. It's not the first time we've lost to Northwestern. You come here hoping to do as well as possible, but the real thing starts on Monday.
After losing to Northwestern, Klinger and Tarloff need to bounce back in their last preliminary debate to secure a bye. In their way, Michigan State, which also has its sights set on advancing.
If the plan were to pass, you have conceded that that would stop jet fuel from being used, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then what piece of evidence have you read that...
Michigan State wins on a 3-0 decision. Harvard is now reeling, and the loss means they will be forced to debate in the first round of the eliminations, after appearing to be a lock for a bye only 12 hours earlier. With the win, Michigan State earns a pass into the round of 16 beginning the next morning. Northwestern also secures its place in the Sweet 16, beating Harvard's second team. However, despite the loss, Christine Malumfi and Dan Luxembourg had earned enough wins before this debate to get a bye, meaning they too will move on to Monday. The fourth and final team to earn a pass through the first round of the eliminations is Texas. These four schools will now enjoy the luxury of not competing until Monday, but other teams are desperate for the opportunity to debate an extra round.
It's do or die time. We have to win one of these two debates today if we want to make it to the elims.
Going up against Kansas, West Georgia quickly gets a taste of its own medicine.
Let's see. I guess... Who would be the perfect people to pie? West Georgia. Because all of their criticism is always about, you know, everything.
Making fun of people.
Making fun of people.
Making fun of the way debate happens.
And, you know, making fun of the debate that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was kind of like a little like
pie in the
sweet
face.
revenge, you know?
Expose something about the Muslims?
A pie in the face isn't enough to take out West Georgia, as they beat Kansas to earn a spot in the eliminations. Meanwhile, Kansas now has one last chance to reach the coveted elimination round.
Bad doing that?
I didn't even realize you got hit by a pie.
It's disappointing. It's also sort of frustrating. Now we're 4-3 and we have to win this next round of break. Puts a ton of pressure on us next round.
Touche, touche.
Here is for the love of the game. When it's for money, it's not the same. That is why you'll never see owners or agents on CSTV. Football, soccer, and volleyball. We cover 30 sports overall. That is why you should try marching onward to CSTV.
And now, a man whose life was changed by Dell, Davis.
Our first guest needs a little introduction, so ladies and gentlemen, please welcome George Hamilton. How are you, sir? Please have a seat. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. You know, I got to tell you, that TV in the green room is spectacular.
That is no TV, George. That is the award-winning Dell 42-inch HD plasma TV. And we noticed you noticing. Freddie, show the green room cam footage.
The green room cam?
Oh, yeah, we're sneaky devils here.
Look at you. Those features. That true-to-life color. You're stunning.
Yeah, the Dell plasma TV. An amazing picture at an amazing price.
Oh, the TV. TV's great too. Spectacular.
Spectacular, dude!
Davis, right now save $500 on a Dell 42-inch HD plasma TV. Plus, get free shipping. Get the most out of your home entertainment with a Dell Media Center PC starting at only $599. It's entertainment made easy with Dell and Microsoft.
Their smash-mouth style struck fear into their opponents.
We snack on danger, we dine on death.
You would go to the ring thinking, are these guys going to kill me, or are they just going to have a match with me? Relive the career of the most dangerous team to capture every major tag title. All the highs and lows, from the beginning to the tragic end.
He was a troubled soul.
He just couldn't control his demons. WWE Fanatic Series presents Road Warriors, the life and death of the most dominating tag team in wrestling history. Available this month on DirecTV pay-per-view.
On this last day of the preliminary debates, the pressure to get one more win to make the elims is overwhelming. However, for the team from Oklahoma, the stress level is even greater, knowing they have to be perfect in their last two debates in order to advance.
You are compelled to make about the way that you participate in the colonial.
A lot of pressure, very nervous. Got to win both debates today. Every argument you make in the debate, it has to be crucial.
Affirmation, however, we think provides the equivalent of what a permutation would be in this debate, the recognition of the imperfection of language.
In the first debate, Oklahoma's team of Connor Cleary and Blake Johnson stay alive, beating Weber State. With everything on the line in their last debate against Liberty, Johnson plans on using a most unusual argument.
We're going to kick the U.S. off the planet, but I'm sure they'll think it's probably a bad idea.
It is this realization which informs one voice. It is this one voice with which I speak when I say U.S. out of U.S. of A, U.S. out of North America, U.S. off the planet.
The argument sets the tone for the debate, and Oklahoma is able to knock off Liberty and move into the elimination round. For a debate program that was formed only 2 years ago, it's a special achievement that will serve as a benchmark in the history of Oklahoma debate.
I feel bad for those guys. Those guys are seniors.
I know.
They just ended their career.
I don't like to do that necessarily.
Yeah. But, whatever. We won.
You sound like a kid, man.
These two combined to our efforts, we have established a commitment to the planet.
The elimination field is finally set.
Maintained not by people keeping conformity with it.
Just like March Madness in basketball, these playoffs are a minefield for every team. The first round takes place at the end of the third day, and with 4 teams gaining byes, the other teams are left to battle for the right to compete on Monday.
In every single round, you're debating an excellent team that's qualified for the NDT. You never get a break where you're just walking over some team that you've done a lot more work than. And so, you know, it's pretty stressful. And now that we're in the out rounds, every single debate will not just be a hard debate, but a great debate.
Fossil fuel fundamentalism and the primacy of the automobile are both important. Do you make an argument as to how you then explain to me how you spill over to get rid of cars and a fossil fuel concern?
I remember when I was a freshman and I came and our seniors lost, I didn't even understand how important it was, and my past elimination round, shaking, trying to figure out whether or not we won or lost. So you really get a sense of you don't get to do this again at the end of your career.
4-1 in the break.
Stacey Nathan is able to extend her career to the final day by beating Dartmouth's Hunter Brooks and David Marks. Meanwhile, another Dartmouth team is facing off against Kansas. 2 more teams that need a win in their final debate to advance.
The winner debate on a 4-1 decision is a negative.
Kansas eliminates Dartmouth on a 4-1 decision. Debate careers are coming to an end, but most striking for the students is that a cherished time in their lives is suddenly over. But for the winners, there's a brief feeling of accomplishment and relief. Even teams like West Georgia feel this pressure. Their strategy is to mock the competition.
The West Georgia Liberation Front would like to welcome...
But their goal has always been to win this tournament. In the first elimination round, their opponent is the gritty team from Oklahoma, still riding the momentum of their last two debates.
Retreat. Welcome home, a yellow ribbon round an old oak tree. A McDonald's where a burial ground used to be. Welcome home and hug a loved one. Build a swimming pool where there once was none.
Good debate, man.
The debate is now over, and it's left to the judges to decide the fate of both teams. For the West Georgia seniors, their clowning around has been replaced by the sober reality of the elimination round.
You know, if we lose this debate, that was my last debate ever, and I'm already done debating. You know, but if we win the debate, then we continue on. So that issue has been sort of the elephant in the room that I've refused to acknowledge today, just for the sake of my own personal sanity.
All right, the decision is a 4-1 for the affirmative from West Georgia.
Harvard's Klinger and Tarloff never could have anticipated being in this position. But after dropping their last two debates, they now need to beat the University of Missouri at Kansas City in order to move on to the final day. However, they are still considered a favorite to win this tournament. But for the people supporting Harvard's top team, they understand the burden of this first elimination round.
You realize that, you know, with the stroke of a few pens, your year at least, and in some cases your career as a debater, are over.
I don't know why a count plan doesn't solve this evidence better.
I'm pretty sure that the government has a way of checking the amount of people that live within a population within the county.
Right, but they can buy them from the citizens, or they can choose to change.
Okay, listen to me just like another 20 seconds, okay?
Okay.
The reason why companies want to go below the cap is because when they do that, they get permits and sell for revenue, which does not occur in the world of the counterclaim. So people don't go below the cap, and that tech is key to solve warming, which is over 1 AC true reactants.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Okay, you get that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
The decision is 3-2 for the negative from UMKC.
Hey, before you guys go, do you mind if I say something really quickly? I just wanted to say thanks to everyone. It's not what we were looking for, it's not what we expected, it's not what we wanted, I mean, it's miserable, it f***ing sucks.
To innovate, to sort of force the technology to do things that are necessary for compliance. The first, I think, and this is an argument that was really well fleshed out to me, is that I'm not even sure how your counterclaim.
Yeah, it's been the most amazing thing I've ever done or been a part of.
NCAA volleyball is back on CSTV. Non-stop, heart-pounding action from the best volleyballers around the country. CSTV takes you courtside for every dig and kill. From the first serve to the final spike, NCAA volleyball on CSTV. Sunday beginning at 4. It's an ABCA Match of the Week doubleheader. Baylor takes on Nebraska, then Santa Clara takes on Pepperdine.
When the names shaping college sports speak this candidly,
people watch the Rose Bowl game that never watch any other game.
You've got to be watching one-to-one. CSTV gets up close and personal with the biggest names in college sports. Sunday at 9, renowned sports broadcaster Keith Jackson.
CSTV Football Nation. Log on to CSTV.com for a complete schedule.
CSTV, #1 in college sports, brings you action from your favorite Conference USA team. If it's played on the field, the diamond, or the court, it's on CSTV. With coverage of hundreds of Conference USA games, CSTV is the home of Conference USA. Call your local cable or satellite provider or log on to CSTV.com to find out how to get Conference USA on CSTV today.
It now comes down to the final 24 hours. After 3 days and 324 debates, there are only 16 teams left arguing. However, everyone is still in shock that one of those teams is not Harvard's Klinger and Tarloff.
Our upset against Harvard last night was one of the biggest upsets in debate history.
This is my 21st NDT, and I think that's the biggest upset UMKC over Harvard is, I think, the biggest upset I've seen in all the debates over those years.
I suspect it will be long remembered at UMKC.
But for the teams still alive, to win this verbal marathon, they will have to survive 4 grueling debates over the next 16 hours.
Monday at the NDT is literally the longest day of debate, and we only won 2 elimination debates, and there were like 2 after that, and it is unimaginable to me that anybody could like continue debating.
It's anybody's game, but not only is it anybody's game, the people who receive those top 16, those bids, they feel like it's especially up to them, that they have a unique shot at it.
After beating Harvard KT the night before, UMKC wants to continue this Cinderella run by knocking off another top 5 team, Cal Berkeley.
I've cut this app and I've cut this article. If you're going to make the argument that that evidence misses the type of hybrid you're doing, that's bull.
But Cal's Stacy Nathan and Craig Wickersham proved to be too much for Missouri, Kansas City, ending UMKC's surprise run. UMKC may have knocked out Klinger and Tarloff, but another team from Harvard still remains. Christine Malumfi and Dan Luxembourg keep their school in the tournament with a win against Fort Hays in the quarterfinals. Texas joins Harvard in the round of 8 by knocking off Kansas.
Cannot distinguish versus fancy because it does not give up all hope.
And Northwestern continues to dominate with a unanimous decision against Whitman.
If they win this, then we lead to other emissions regulations.
You might as well explain now. What's the reason the net benefit's bad?
We don't know what your net benefit is.
In a contest featuring contrasting styles, the comedic duo from West Georgia
These motherships contain accommodations for literally millions of people.
take on the tenacious and single-minded team from Michigan State. Considering the 2 vastly different approaches and all that is at stake, the tension in this debate is unmistakable.
Now you're trying to claim that you're agreeing with our ass. Hardy, you're full of
Michigan State is well prepared for West Georgia's arguments and responds with a strategy that seems to frustrate their opponent.
Maybe I should believe because it's in my interest, but maybe I'm wrong.
All right, whatever. I guess my next question, well, you know what, it. Like, you're not being helpful in cross-sec, so it's over.
We just finished our debate with Michigan State in the octafinals, and it doesn't look good.
Okay, the decision is a 4-1 for the negative.
West Georgia's run has ended. Losing hurts, but down deep there is a sense of relief.
This has been a really draining part of my life for 7 years, so, you know, ain't gonna cry.
Michigan State's win sets up a great matchup against Cal in the quarterfinals. Both teams entered the NDT ranked in the top 5. Seniors Aaron Hardy and Sean Van Horn from Michigan State and Stacy Nathan from Cal have waited their whole careers for this opportunity. But after this round, someone's dream of winning this tournament will end.
The total elimination of the fuel and the debt. Look, if you want me to finish answering my question, I will. But this is NDT elimination. To keep rephrasing my arguments as though I haven't said anything is total jackassery.
No, you said you have an ethanol link, and he's asking for your other link besides ethanol is.
Then let me finish the sentence and then ask that question.
Go ahead.
Our argument is that the production of ethanol requires...
This debate is too close for either team to feel confident about the outcome. After an hour of deliberation, the judges finally announced their decision.
The winner on a 3-2 decision is California Berkeley.
Only 4 teams remain. Joining Cal Berkeley in the semifinals are Northwestern, Texas, and Harvard's team of Luxembourg and Malumfi, who have revived the previously disheartened Harvard program.
The last 36 hours have been such an incredible emotional roller coaster for us. You know, the loss last night was really devastating, but trying to shake that off and refocus our efforts on Dan and Christine and remember that we still had another team in here and rally behind them was a little difficult at first, but we've gotten behind it and now, you know, just sort of soaring up again.
I think we should read a toned down version. Only one more round separates these 4 teams from their shot at debate supremacy.
Between them, later somebody was silent. At some point, really, it was an offensive for like your voice to travel from on me and the fans, and it was just too difficult.
Listen to the 1AC and the 1C in order to access all it will backfire precisely because of the reasons isolated in the 1AC. The negative is definitely clinging to the bottom.
So we have to purchase one pretty quickly.
When the smoke clears, only 2 teams remain. Northwestern's Tristan Morales and Josh Branson, and Cal's Nathan and Wickersham. Both teams are exhausted, but they'll need to summon all their strength and focus one last time to achieve the ultimate prize.
What are you setting your sights on? And when you see it, will you be ready? Just pick up the phone, dial 1-800-645-ARMY, and you'll get this free DVD. You'll learn about the hundreds of opportunities the Army can offer you. Skills, education, healthcare. Call 1-800-645-ARMY, and you'll also get this free boonie hat. Whatever you're looking for, the Army can help you find it.
So nice out here.
Yeah. I used to come out here when I was a kid. Nothing.
No, I definitely heard something.
Look!
Who's that?
Let's get out of here! What are you doing? Stop the door!
Okay, okay.
Run out!
He does? I say! Come on, baby!
Think history is a little scary? Then log on to LOC.gov and see how much fun it can be. The Library of Congress at LOC.gov.
The United States Naval Academy, established in 1845, is the undergraduate college for the Navy. It prepares young men and women to become professional officers in the Navy and Marine Corps. A world-class faculty and small class size allow midshipmen to excel in any of the 19 majors offered. Upon graduation, they will be appointed ensigns in the Navy or second lieutenants in the Marine Corps. The Academy emphasizes the moral, mental, and physical education of midshipmen through character development programs that stress the highest ideals of duty, honor, and loyalty. Navy also has a rich history of athletic achievements in a variety of varsity sports. The United States Naval Academy is where America develops leaders who will serve the nation. It is where the core values of honor, courage, and commitment are nurtured, and where the vision of America's future is shaped.
For instant access to all of the latest college football news, scores, highlights, and analysis, bookmark CSTV.com.
I think it's worth the risk.
It's well into nightfall on the last day of the NDT, and now there are only 2 teams left. Getting to the final round is not enough. They have put too much time, energy, and emotion into this tournament to accept second place. Like a marathon runner hitting the final mile, Cal and Northwestern need to forget how hard the journey has been and kick it into high gear for the final stretch.
You're so tired and you're so sort of discombobulated and kind of debated out that you're just trying to put it all together one last time.
The night that we won last year is such a blur to me after the actual round ended. Like, I can vaguely remember people coming up and congratulating me. It's almost like I was drunk, except I wasn't.
interpretation industry policy mandates that we discuss the prescription for energy substitute option.
At the top, our interpretation of the topic is that planning can only require a reduction of fossil use. This can be done through a hard cap and trace system.
It's impossible, and their framework as long as we have a fossil fuel economy based on sanitude equality will be impossible because first off, actually interpretation topical from this require reduction total non-government discussion of fossil fuels first requirements command where Webster's always determined by a law. Our evidence indicates it's dependent on
solar power is not dependent on technology?
Is that anywhere close to what I just said?
The reason why consumption occurs is because of market patterns, aren't
All it is that they employ consumptive-wise in the context of solar energy.
Yeah, tell that to the people who would suffer because they would literally starve to death.
The idea that believing in the capacity of solar works is been proven untrue. Your argument is that we have to have some acquaintance with the structure of our government.
Well, it says that
If that's more impossible, that's bad. Isn't it?
I can't tell you how it could happen because I have no idea. I'm just not.
Sorry, we're just kidding.
Somebody's cranky.
The resolution only interpretation of rhymes terms like it's fashion and established grammatical precision. Second action.
A basketball coach doesn't have to win, you know. You always know what the score is. With debates, you can make your own intuitions and guesses from what you hear, but whether the judges are thinking the same thing is an entirely different matter.
All indications are that after the opening arguments and cross-examinations, the debate is too close to call.
Opening arguments are good because they have the capacity to throw off your opponents, but at the end of the day, you know, judges don't really decide anything on your opening argument. They decide it on your closing argument.
So for this championship debate, it will come down to each debater's last speech. In what will be the most important performance of their entire careers, there is no room for error.
Energy policy currently aimed at regulation of evolution use energy policy. Debate down alternate energy choice or example, we can claim it's an advantage you want us.
At the top of this debate is one of competing interpretations. There are
universal commitment to the social society. This is impacted by social mechanical and softly regarding the net power types of competitive cameras. We have no.
They get to claim unfair advantages.
No right to that you do something negative, this, that.
Turn out it is.
To all women.
They're in favor of.
You have to go to permit.
Well, than that.
But it's only our interpretation you can do.
The debates are now over. Any piece of evidence left in their tubs will stay there forever. Both teams gave it all they had. It's now up to the judges to decide the fates of Cal and Northwestern.
Intensely close. Closest debate we've had all tournament, no doubt about it.
All right. The winner of the 2005 National Debate Tournament on a 3-2 decision is the affirmative Northwestern.
The closest debate we've had this tournament, so
maybe this year.
Yeah, maybe this year. So it was rough, but now it feels great.
We're going to Disney World, baby. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with my life, but I'm gonna have a good ass screen. You know what I'm saying?
CSTV Football Nation. Log on to CSTV.com for a complete schedule.
by sharks, born of fire. Shark Boy and Lava Girl need the one boy
Come with us. Cool.
who holds the key to saving the universe.
Everything we need is right here in this book.
Now,
I'll melt the bridge!
they've got to follow the map
Don't speak! Watch out!
and dive into danger
Keep it on track! There is no track. What do we do? Scream.
to save their universe. The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl in 3D. Rated PG. In theaters Friday, June 10th.
We need broccoli.
I don't like broccoli.
Some chicken.
I don't like chicken.
Kids don't always eat everything they should. That's why there's Pediasure. It's a source of complete, balanced nutrition for healthy growth.
Okay, waffles.
I don't think I like waffles.
She gets help for what she needs, and so do you. And look for our new reclosable bottle, Pediatrician Recommended Pediasure. Be sure.
Maybe we could all use a little less. From Honda, the first car company to offer 3 hybrid models. The all-new Accord Hybrid V6.
Getting high cholesterol down is important. For some people, it's even more important. You've been to the doctor, good. You've changed your diet and are getting exercise.
Excellent. You've tried just about everything. Now medical information comes along that says you may need to get that bad cholesterol even lower.
Now what do you do? Well, if your doctor says aim lower, ask about Crestor. Crestor, along with diet, can lower bad cholesterol by up to 52%. That's about half. Is Crestor right for you? Discuss it with your doctor.
Crestor is not for everyone, including people with liver disease. And women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor about other medications you're taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as that may be a sign of serious side effects. Do you still need to get your cholesterol lower? Aim lower with Crestor.
Season finale you'll never forget. This courageous woman died saving Private Jessica Lynch.
I'm wanting to help out her family.
Our designers will build her family the home she always dreamt of. A new Extreme Makeover Home Edition Sunday at 7, 6 Central, only on ABC. Uncle Sam wants Nick and Jessica.
I'm taking these earrings off.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry.
America's favorite newlyweds are off to the front lines in Iraq for their biggest television event ever. Willie Nelson, Jimmy Kimmel, Big and Rich. Entertain our troops in an all-star 2-hour special. Nick and Jessica's Tour of Duty, Monday, 9, 8 Central.
An international phenomenon is coming to America, and it's bringing the pageantry, the grace, and the style of the most thrilling competition this country will ever see. Live, Dancing with the Stars. 6 celebrities will be paired up with 6 of the world's most renowned dance masters. They'll learn a series of dances in 6 grueling weeks of training.
This is not easy.
I think she gets frustrated quite fast.
I felt like someone had literally beaten me.
The cha-cha-cha and all some of the Latin music, I don't respond as well to.
I think it's more pressure on her to make me look good. I'm a winner. She's a winner.
We want to win, and I think we can.
Each week, a new routine, a new competition, and it's all coming to you live.
Live TV, I am crazy.
It all comes down to the judges and you, the viewers, to decide who will capture the dancing crown. Dancing with the Stars premieres Wednesday, June 1st, only on ABC.
What are you doing here so alive with lion monkeys?
We're here to see the wizard.
But you don't have an appointment.
This is our appointment.
Yeah. No.
Come on, guys.
No, you can't. No. No, you can't do that.
Us now.
Oh.
Come on, guys.
Follow me.
We got the eye. We want what you from.
This is what I was afraid of. This can be. It's not even green.
What's going on?
Wait, stop. Stop. You
must wear the glasses or you will fry from the wizard's brilliance.
Really? Because, you're not frying.
Oh, well,